optical art. Okay guys, in my opinion, the correction has already begun for the stock market, and we all know, or at least you should know by now, that Bitcoin is correlated with the US stock market. I've been covering the US dollar. The dollar's been pushing up. These two things tell me that Bitcoin is coming down. Bitcoin's already dropped a pretty good bit. So I'm going to give you some price targets for Bitcoin. We're going to go over some of this stuff. So just a quick recap on this. So what I was saying was, and I'll show you some other Bitcoin charts to show the power of using these fib circles to find tops. Notice this fib circle right here. It's all the same fib circle. Every time we come up and we hit one of these rings, we get topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out. And we've been testing this ring for about 20 days. Now, it did say March 11th would be a likely point, or by that point we would get topped out to come down. Notice this is the apex of this orange ring in this yellow fib channel line. So before March 11th, I would expect the correction to start. But the point is if we're underneath this orange ring, once we break this fib channel line here, this is when the correction begins. So as far as I'm concerned, we're already starting our correction to come down. Again, my target is the next orange ring below. I did cover that in a previous video. This is video I was referencing. I'll put a link up to this now if you want to check it out. The link will also be pinned to the first comment and the description. But basically, that's what I was saying. The Dow Jones is topped out. Again, when the Dow comes down, the other markets will come down as well. If you do follow me on Twitter, you do get access. Again, my Twitter is private, but if you have access to the charts, my Twitter is now a guide to help you play these. So if you follow me on Twitter, you knew exactly when to potentially get out or take your profit or short. I said next resistance level to watch as they both match, and I was referring to the B1 chart and the A1 chart. This point right here, 51,900. Notice we topped out at this ring previously. This target here matched this target, 51,864. So this would be a likely point to take your profit. You can see how this played out. We did get rejected here. We hit this one to the tick, started coming down. We came down ever since we hit this point. So if you shorted from here, you did really well. And then I was covering the dollar. The dollar was pushing up. Bitcoin's a hedge against the US dollar. So dollar up, Bitcoin down. I am making some new charts. I'll cover that briefly in just a bit. Also, right here I was saying refresh the A1, B1 chart. We may get a little pump if we break above orange trend line. That's exactly what happened. You see we're underneath this orange trend line. We pushed up. Notice we topped out right here. If you have access to the charts, I do have price labels. And I just cover calls, guys. Just go through, say, look, we were holding support on the white, this white trend line. I said, pay attention if we cross orange, this orange trend line above this point. We would get a pump. That's exactly what happened. So again, that's what I do. I covered those. You can see that I had three charts: the B1 chart, the 12/30/20, and the Bybit chart that nailed support on this last drop we had. We came down, hit it. The more charts that have support that match, the more likely is you'll catch a bounce at that point. So again, I'll give you price targets. Again, if you do want to access these charts, my website's opticalartcrypto.com. The link will be pinned in the first comment and the description. For $39 a month, you get access to Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, access to our Discord, and my Twitter. I do have tutorials teaching you my method of charting, so if you want to create charts for yourself using my method, I teach you how to do that. But stocks and tutorials are separate. So let's go on. Let's just cover a few things. So again, the Dow Jones, I do think we are already starting our correction to come down. As I've been saying, if the dollar pushes up, guys, that is bad for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is hedged against the US dollar. You see the dollar is pushing up. So your next resistance to watch, and again, you can use the US dollar index, the DXY, to find out potentially when to long and short. So if the dollar pushes up, this is your next resistance above. So if we hit this point and you happen to be at support with Bitcoin, this would be a point to potentially do a long for Bitcoin, because it's possible we'll come back down, test support, push back up. Again, you can see how accurate this has been. We came down, found support, we pushed up as resistance, support, resistance. So you can actually use the US dollar to actually find out when to long and short. But overall, it looks like the dollar is very bullish. It is pushing up. And I've covered this before, guys. For months, I've been talking about the US dollar and the Dow Jones potentially being topped out, the dollar pushing up. You can see as the dollar, this was January 2nd, 2017. You see as the dollar was coming down, Bitcoin was pushing up. As soon as the dollar broke up, Bitcoin came down. Keep in mind this was an 84% drop for Bitcoin. Same thing was playing out here. This is after a COVID crash, the dollar coming down in a falling wedge. Bitcoin was pushing up. Now the dollar is breaking to the upside, which means Bitcoin is now coming down, which you can clearly see that. So again, this is that chart I was referencing in the on Twitter. You can see this is where we topped out, right here at 51,900. You can see we found perfect support right down here on this fib channel line, and you can see we're coming up to test resistance now. So let me give you a couple price targets. I'm gonna go through each one of these charts. So your current resistance that we're testing now, and we will see how this plays out. Your resistance right now to watch is 47,710. If you push above that, your next major resistance will be 49,666. If we drop, your next support will be around 45,160. If we drop below that, again, this is swing trading, guys. Your next support is 42,680. This would be very strong support if we drop to catch a bounce. And when I say bounce, I mean come back up and test resistance. And you can see this line goes back a good ways. You can see right here, this, and again, it goes back further, but just showing you, we came up as resistance, resistance. We pushed all the way up to this point as resistance, came down to support, resistance, support, support. As soon as we pushed up, we had a major pump. So this will be a very strong support level. Again, that I'm trying to show you how to play these charts. I do that on Twitter. But again, that's why I'm saying if we do come down and test the support level, this would be a very strong support to catch a bounce. But just showing you the accuracy of these charts. This is the other chart I was referencing. And this is, in that tweet, I said 51,900. So we had a fib channel line right here at 51,900. And this chart here, you can see we topped out at this ring in this fib channel line, double resistance, and this happened to match that other chart. So this is the point that's said to potentially take your profit. So, and that's what I say, guys, we go from ring to ring. Notice we pushed up, we got rejected at this red ring, blue ring, came back down, we pushed up, rejected this fib channel line, support, 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 ring to ring. We go from ring to ring. We pushed up, got rejected, found support, found resistance. So again, guys, that means that this ring right here will be a pivot point when we cross this, when we get to the apex. This could be a major move. We could find support on this ring. Once you cross this ring, this will be a pivot either to the upside or the downside. So pay attention to that. That will be on or around the 6th of March. Some price targets to pay attention to on this chart. Your next support level below is going to be around 45,898. Again, I keep you updated on Twitter, but what I do is I look for matching targets to the upside and the downside. When they match, that's probably the point to get out. So if we push straight up according to this chart, you can see this line right here has been a lot of support and resistance. This one right here. So if we do push up, if we had a pump straight up, a likely point to get rejected. Very strong resistance. You've got this trend line here, and you had this ring we got rejected at twice. So you would likely get rejected right here. Again, that's if we shot straight up, 49,813. Obviously, whenever you make contact with this ring will be resistance. So if we come kind of sideways and up, 49,203. But again, I will update you. And again, when you have access to the charts, I have all the price labels on here. This is another chart. Again, this nailed the bottom, or at least for this drop. Again, on Twitter, that's what I was talking about. 3 charts showed support at 46,300, 46,600, 46,278. So this was a likely point to go in. You can see how this played out. And again, when I create these charts, all your support and resistance levels are already mapped out. So a likely point to get rejected, we're pushing up now. So watch to see if we get rejected right here at 48,100. And again, I go through and try to find charts that match. If we did push up above that, guys, a likely point to get rejected, 50,889. I don't see that happening. Your next support level below to watch is potentially 46,000. And again, that does match with other charts. The rings will be your support as well. This here, this also was another chart. This is the Bybit chart. Notice we found support right on this fib channel line, which goes back a good ways. Again, all of your support and resistance levels are already mapped out. If we do push up, so watch potentially 48,416. Let's see if we have any other targets to match. So 48,430. It's 48,100. So we might get rejected right here, 47,710. You can see that, and again, we'll see what happens after this video is up, but you can see we're coming back down below this resistance. So we might actually get rejected here, come back down to support. If we do push up, and if you do have access to these charts, I would watch these targets. This will be strong resistance, 49,722. Again, if you do get up to this point, 49,845, I would get the hell out. That is going to be very strong resistance. If we do push above, I would watch 48,124. So actually, that's pretty close. 48,124 and then 48,430. So I would get out at this point. This buy bit chart has been very accurate. So again, watch this fib channel line here to get rejected. This here is my peak of the bull run 2.0 chart. Again, this also helped potentially find the top. We didn't quite make it to this ring, but we did get rejected. These are the major support levels I have on this chart. You see this green fib channel line here, this kind of aqua blue, and this blue one right here. So these are the three major support levels. So I do think we are coming down to test this support here around 38,000. Potentially, if we drop straight down, 37,500. If it's further out, 38,500. I do think this is a likely first support level. Notice this is our 20-week moving average, which looks like it's creeping up to this point. So again, it depends on how fast this goes up. It does look like it's kind of curling over. But I do think this is likely going to be our first support. If this breaks, this is your next support level to catch a bounce. And I do think this is potentially the lowest point we could go. If things got really bearish with the stock market, the dollar just started mooning, I think this is the lowest point we'd possibly go. But I did want to cover all that, guys. Do watch that previous video. I did go into detail about the Dow Jones chart. But again, if you do want to access these charts, the website's opguardcrypto.com. The link will be pinned in the first comment and description at Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, and stocks, and tutorials. Guys, that's it. Be ready. Pay attention to the markets today. I do think we are slowly going to step down, guys. So I think it's going to just down, you get a little push up, kind of go down like this, but ultimately I think the Dow is headed to about 27,445, which means the dollar will continue to push up. You see it's pushing up now. Keep in mind, you can use the dollar to find out when to short and long. I know this is running long, guys, but I just wanted to make sure you're aware that I do think we are going to have a correction. I do think the Dow is going to be coming down, which means Bitcoin's going to be coming down, and I do think that this is potentially your first target, 38,500. That's it. Until the next video.